get this thing in motion, so it'll start recording what I'm doing. Okay, so with the preference ballots, what I'm saying is, what if candidates voted the following way? What if we had, Trump and Clinton and, candidate number 3 and candidate number 4, and a lot of people, let's say Trump got the most, 100 people voted the following way. 100 people put Trump as their first candidate. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. 100 people put Trump. This is the number of voters. Let's say 100 voters, or let's do 50. Make it simple. 50 voters put Trump first, Clinton second. No, actually, yeah, Clinton second. This person, their third. This fourth. And 49 voters put Clinton first, second, third, and Trump last. So that would be, so who would win that election by our system? By our current presidential system, how many voted for Trump first? 50 people, right? How many voted for Clinton as their favorite? These 49. Is that table, the way I'm drawing that table, making sense? What that means, let me try to say it more slowly and clearly. 50 people listed their preferences this way. 50 people like Trump best, Clinton second best, candidate 3 third best, and candidate 4 fourth best. Another group of 49 people, they liked Clinton best, and Trump was their worst choice, their last choice, their fourth. They're like saying, I like anybody but Trump, right? That's what these 49 people are saying. Clinton's my favorite. I want anybody but Trump, right? So who would win the election by our current system? Well, Trump would, because all we care about in our system is who do you like best. We don't even ask your second, third, fourth. All we would look at is how many first place for Trump? 50. How many first place for Clinton? 49, right? 49 people put her first. So who wins? Trump. Done. But is that really, honestly, fairly, at least in this case, the will of the people? Can that truly, because that's the job of a voting system, right? To faithfully determine as much as possible the will of the people. Well, 49 of those people would rather have anybody than Trump. So you're telling me these 99 people, 50 plus 49, right? These 99 people, you're telling me their will is really Trump? In this situation, it would be much more Clinton, right? Because all 99 people have Clinton either first or second, don't they? See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So really, in this situation, Clinton would, and I'm not saying that's what really is, I don't know, I'm not getting into the particulars, I'm just saying this example anyway, Clinton, you'd have to be honest to say in this case anyway, Clinton would be more the will of the people. Even though she didn't get quite as many, only one less first place vote, all 99 like her first or second, right? And half the crowd thinks Trump's the worst. So I just wanted to show you a case where there's more than just first place desires to faithfully determine the will of the people, you see. So we want to use math. Can math come in and help society do a better job at determining what the will of a group of people is in a voting situation? That's what this chapter is all about. What are some different systems? And we're going to look at how fair they are. We're going to try to look at ways they're fair, ways they're not fair, and try to judge them and say this is helpful in this situation. And by the way, there are different systems used than just the way we do president. When they decide how to elect all the sports things, Rookie of the Year, MVP, coaches vote, sports people vote. They don't do just who's your first choice. They do different kinds of systems called board account. I'll get into those. They give point values to things. They do other ways than just who's your favorite. When they decide Olympic committee, there's an Olympic committee that decides which city's getting the Olympics every 2 years for the summer and then the other 2 years for the winter Olympics. The committee decides it, not just who's your favorite. They do something called plurality with elimination, which we'll get into one of our other methods. There are other systems used in our society for determining the will of the people other than the way we currently do president. Okay, let's get down to it. So that's the intro. Let's get to this particular case. 20 minutes, we'll do what we can. All right, we'll start off pretty simple here. These are ballots. And basically this first ballot, what's going on there? When it says BCA, what does that mean? That means one person went to the poll and their first choice was candidate B, their their second choice was candidate C, and their third choice was candidate A. That's called a preference ballot because they're giving you their preferences, not just their first place, right? The way we do president currently, you just say who you like best. You don't say anything more than that. You're not allowed to, right? You just cast your first place, that's it. But these are preference ballots, as it says right there. So the next person, their favorite was A, followed by B, followed by C, the next person, CBA, and on you go. So that's a bunch, those are all different voters. Is that making sense? This is voter number 1, voter number 2, voter number 3, 4, 5, how many others? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? Looks like 16, that's 16 different people's vote. So, and we're supposed to summarize it right here. Right here they want us to kind of give a tally, a summary of things. So how many voters voted ABC? Were there 6? Let's circle them, see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So 6, so you put the 6 right there. You're saying 6 people, that's what they want you to fill in the box there. 6 people had A as their first choice, B as their second, C as their third. How many voted the next one? BCA. Is that what it is? 3 of them? BCA, BCA, yeah, 3 of them, huh? And then the rest,
7.
Is that what it is? 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them, 6 of them, 7, yeah, 7 of them, huh? Guess that makes 16 altogether, huh? 6 plus 3 plus 7. 7 of them voted the other way. So this right here is like a summary of how the voting went. 6 people, like A then B then C, 3 people B then C then A, 7 people C then B then A. That's the preference, call that a preference schedule is the technical name, as it says right here. Preference schedule. Okay, by the way, when you're doing this homework, if you have unlimited tries on the homework. If you get it wrong, you can just keep guessing. Once it's right, it's 100% right. So you can get 100% on the homework, just spend enough time. If you get it wrong 2 or 3 times in a row, it depends on the type of question, sometimes 2 times, sometimes 3 times, it will mark you wrong, but then a new box will appear which says similar exercise. And what it's saying is, hey, you got that one wrong, but we'll give you a new one with different numbers. You click on it, changes the numbers, you got 3 more tries or whatever. You can just keep doing that until you get them right. You can do late homework, but it's half credit. Anything done after the deadline is half credit. Homework's always due the next time at class time, so 1:30. So if I can get through this, it'll be due 1:30 on Thursday. Say you get 50% of it done on time, but then you do the other 50% after, late, then you'll get half on the late 50%. So the first 50% will stay. You'll get half of the late 50%, so 25, plus the original 50, you would get 75% on the assignment. Does that make sense? Just the late ones are half credit on that. All right, so let's keep going. If you're good on that, let's do this one right now. Okay, so plurality. What does it mean by plurality? Plurality means more, or let's say most first place votes. That's how we do our general president election right now. Most first place votes. But may not be a majority. Do you know what I mean by that? Let me write majority. When somebody says majority, what does that mean? It doesn't just mean more than, or the most. What does majority mean? If a majority of people feel a certain way, what does that mean, a majority? It means, yeah, most of the people means more than half, doesn't it? Majority means more than half. Do you know there's a difference, right? Like both Trump and Clinton, neither one of them got more than 50% of the vote, did they? And we haven't had a president get more than 50% of the vote for a while, right? Even though Trump got more than Clinton, he did not get more than half. He did not get a majority, but he did get a plurality. Plurality means he got more than anybody else, but he didn't get more than half. Does that make sense? So watch out. They'll use those words and they mean what they say. You got to be kind of careful. So who gets the plurality? Who got the most first place votes then? Which candidate, A, B, or C, got the most first place votes? Yeah, because C got 7 first place votes. 7 people put C first. Does that make sense? So whereas 6 people put A first and only 3 people put B first. So C would win that election if we were using what's called, this method, this way we do the president, this is called the plurality method, where all you do is you say who got the most first place. That's what we currently do for president, the plurality method. So if this election was the plurality method, C would win. C got more first place than anybody else. Did C get a majority? Did C get more than half of the votes? How many total votes? What's the total number of votes that were cast? Yeah, 6 plus 3 plus 7, that's 16. And so half of that would be 8. Did C get more than 8? No, C only got 7. So C did not get a majority, but C did get a plurality, more than other people. Right? All right, so let's come back there. So, yeah, who has the fewest last? Fewest last. Is it? So here's the last place votes. Right, so 6 people said C was their third choice, their last choice. 3 people said A was their last choice. And 7 people also said A was their last choice. So who had the fewest last? B, actually. Nobody put B last, notice. It was actually B, huh? Nobody had B last. So B is one of those kind of candidates that everybody sort of likes. Nobody really loves them. Only 3 people put B first. Right? Kind of the opposite of the people we had run for president this year. These were divided. You either loved them or hated them. Whereas candidate B is kind of like everybody kind of likes him, but not many people think he's their favorite. But nobody hates him. Kind of candidate, right? That's what B is, fewest last. All right. Not that we're going to determine the election that way, but okay. So an election is held to choose the chair of a department at a university. The candidates are professors A, B, and C, basically. The following table, blah, blah. How many people voted in this election? Yeah, can you figure that out? So try that. How many people voted in the election? Is that big enough? Here, let me. All the parts are shown. We'll have to keep going back and forth. All right, there we go. So same kind of question, different numbers. Can you all see that okay? So here they are. So 9 people, ABC, 3 people, ACB, 3, 6. Okay. So how many? I got 21. See, how did I come up with 21 there? Yeah, I just added 9, 3, 3, and 6. 21 votes. Okay, how many first place votes are needed for a majority? So what would be more than half of 21? Well, so I take the 21 and I divide it by 2. That would be 10.5. So that means, you can't take 10 and a half votes, so it'd be 11, huh? That's how I got the 11. That's for a majority. And then C, if it came down to a choice between A and C, which one would get more votes? Yeah, that's a good question. Let's do that. That's some of the methods we're going to do in days to come are going to ask us to do exactly that kind of thing. So I want to get you comfortable with that. So what if it just came down to A and C? So in other words, go up to the table and just cut out. What if B just got sick or whatever and said, I'm dropping out. I'm just dropping out of the election. That's what they want you to think about. They want you to say, what if it was just A and C? So just go up to your voters and say, hey, voters, B is not an option anymore. That's really what we're doing, right? It's just A versus C. So we're really just asking the people. If it was just A and C, who would you like better? That's what we're asking. Don't forget about B. Let's just pretend B's out. If it was just A and C, what would be the will of the people? We're going to use that in one of our ways of trying to faithfully make sure we're really getting to the will of the people. We're going to match them up one-on-one, like a tennis match or something. We're going to go just A versus C and just A versus B, and we're going to kind of match them all up. So we're going to do this kind of analysis, and we're going to say, all right, what is really the will of the people here? What if it was just A and C? Who would they like better? Well, let's see. What about these 9 people here? Would they like A better or C better? Well, clearly they would like A better. How about these 3 people? They want A. How about these 3 people? Yeah, because B's out, they would prefer A, huh? And what about these people? They want C. So if it's just A versus C, what they got? Like 12 or 15? 15 for A and 6 for C? So it'd clearly be A. So in other words, if it's just A and C, how does the crowd feel? They would strongly prefer A over C in a one-on-one matchup. Huh? That makes sense. We're going to do a bunch of that in one of our methods. All right, stop me if you have questions. So, student body at a high school is having an election, homecoming queen, candidates A, B, C, and D, following table, blah, blah, blah. Use the plurality method to find the winner. Okay. So how are we going to find it? You got to use a calculator and add up a bunch of numbers. So how many votes for first place? Plurality means just first place. That's like the president, the way we elect president. So how many first place did A get? Well, these 177, these 145. You with me on that? Put A 38. Also put A first. Anybody else? That's it. Whatever that adds up to be. Somebody have a calculator? 360, thank you. 360 people put A first. And then how many people put B first? Well, 218, 103, and 13. 116, 334. Is that right? Check me on the calculator. And then how many people put C first? I can't read that. Is there a number there? Yeah, 133, huh? Yeah, is that right? Okay, thanks. And then 218. Add those up. Something. 3, 4, 3. What is 51? Thank you. 51. And then how many put D first? Well, that last 142 and 218. And I remember this come out tied, so it's got to be 360. Yeah, so notice A and D tie, don't they? So that's why the answer is A and D. The red, I was wrong when I guessed at it, and I was wrong. I was just getting the homework done quick, so I get it on the screen. So the real answer is A and D. They tie for first place. A and D, 360, first place. So all I did, notice I only did the top row, right? I wasn't even looking at second choice, third choice, fourth choice. That's plurality method. That's what we do for president. We just say who's your favorite, right? Next question. So we got to break the tie. How are we going to break the tie between A and D? Well, there's different ways. There's all kinds of different systems out there. We wanted to try to determine what is most fair. One tie-breaking rule says that if there's more than one alternative with plurality in the first place, then the tie is broken by choosing the alternative with the fewest last. So that's one way. Say, all right, who's got the fewest, who's hated the least, in other words, right? Who's got the fewest last place votes? I don't know. Let's see. So how many last? So I guess I do know. There it is. The answer is A. But how to come up with that? Well, how many last place? So let's do last here. How many last place does A have? How many people put A last? Here's A and here's A. Yeah, but that's 103 people, and there's not just two, right? It's 103 and 218, whatever that is. 321. That makes sense? It's 321 people that are A haters. A's their last. Right? How many put B? Oh, it's just A and D. I don't even need to check B and C. Who cares? We're just breaking the tie between A and D, right? So how many people put D last? This one, this one, this one. So that'd be 218, 13, and 177. 218, you put them in any order. 13 and 170. So that's all the D haters there. What was it? What did you say the number was? Somebody got that? Some big number. It's gigantic. I don't know. I can't do it. 190, so 214. 408? Thank you. 408. So, yeah, A is hated less, right? A's only got 321 that think he's the worst. D's got 408 that think he's the worst. So that's one way you could break the tie. Who's hated less? A is less despised than D by those who really don't like them. All right, and then question C, you can't really see it there. You okay with that if I flash over? We're almost out of time, aren't we? Let's just. Okay, so the final question here is another way, question C, another way to break the tie is head-to-head comparison. What do they mean head-to-head? That's what we just did a second ago, where you drop out the other candidates. You say, all right, A and D have tied for the most first-place votes. Now, let me ask you, who do you guys really like better? Well, how do you determine that? You just make the other two candidates drop out. So you just drop out B and C. Everywhere, you just cross out B and C, right? Because A and D is all we're talking about right now. Because A and D tied for first place. So just cross off B and C. Cross off B and C everywhere. And it's all just coming down to A versus D. So how many, if you drop out B and C in the head-to-head matchup, how many would prefer A? Well, those 177, these 143, these 30, is that 38? I can't read that. Yeah, 38. Those 38. That's it. How many would prefer D? D would be preferred. These 218 have D first, right? Because here's D, higher than A. Those 218, they don't like D best, but if it's just D and A, they'd prefer D. Right? See how I'm coming up with that? If it's just head-to-head with D and A, yeah, they would choose D, thank you. These 103, they would also pick D. That's 103, right? Yeah, 103. They would pick D also. Oh, I skipped this 13 here. You guys see that? I messed up.
And the 133.
Right there, yeah. Though they want A. Oh, and the 133. Yeah, thanks. I messed up. So there's a 13 and a 133. They also prefer A over D. Oh, and the 218. Man, I missed a lot. All right, I wasn't noticing the ones where A's not at the top. All those groups prefer A over D. Let's get back to the D thing now. Who else prefers D, the 142 and the 218? All right, then you would just need to add those up and see who gets more. So see how head-to-head works? So when we do head-to-head, you just drop everybody else out. And so that's what I was talking about with the Trump-Clinton thing. I wonder if you just dropped everybody else out, how the head-to-head would go. But anyway, so there we go. We're out of time. We didn't quite finish that, did we? So it's not going to be due yet. So what was that? 1.1 will not be due until Tuesday, whatever that is, a week from today, the 21st? No, 22nd?
21st.
It's 15th, right? 22nd? I think next Tuesday, 22nd?
Yeah.
Oh, today.
Tuesday the 22nd. So that'll be due in a week. So that'll be due in a week. So make sure you get on Math Excel by then. That'll be